What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Frank Sriracha Jr., and in the upper left of Coastal Outpost, we have Mixu, our Protectorate player, versus our Legion player in the lower right, Mr. FatalExit, coming out with Gallivax. Gallivax versus Marv. Okay, so Marv is one of the heroes that I haven't seen anyone play as yet. Oh, whoops. Thank you for reminding me to switch to my screen here. C tier casting. C is for casting. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, also, there's a channel point redeem where you can scream at me. There's a Korean voice clip that calls me a dummy for having the wrong scene up. So, if you see me not on the right scene, feel free to use that. All right, Marv out there using his sword, his gun sword. I think this is what is this? Final Fantasy VIII. All right, we've got this little shielded, bulky spiderling. Bulky spiderling is what I will, I'm gonna call people's children that, you know, just kind of can't be contained. It's like, keep your bulky spiderling away from me, dude. But Coastal Outpost does look like kind of a smaller map. We do have a couple of expands here. I think this is, yeah, this map you can expand in two directions. I like that this one's a lot closer, and if you really wanted to, you can use the terrain to your advantage and, like, build barracks, 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 wall that off, barracks, 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 wall that off, and then, really choose, like, where you want your opponent to, like, have an easier time to attack into, or set up, you know, a couple of, I forgot what the supply depots are for these guys. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Idle conduits. Okay, so the recon drones out there does manage to see that there's the Merc, the Free Corsair Mercs are out, got triple racks, bunch of harvesters out there getting the flux. All right, and we're starting to see some infantry coming out for our Protectorate player Mixu. Mixu, of course, very famous for all of his Stormgate play. Okay, so all those harvesters do get taken out, and I think they also took out the little recon drone. Okay, so that building died, and the effect is still there visually. Time is moving forward. Alright, maybe that was just a weird visual bug. We'll clip that. And I'm liking these little... Okay, so another thing that to me, makes or breaks how good an RTS looks in 1v1 is doodads. I think doodads make the difference between, like, whether or not something looks lived in. Or it gives, like, whoa, you can zoom out a lot. I love it. That's a lot of thralls. Yeah, there's no way that Marv's gonna live through this. I love that flank, though. The Legion player saying, yo, you know what? If you want to retreat, you're gonna have to retreat towards my base, and that's where all the reinforcements are gonna be coming from. So we do see we'd see Fatal going westwards, and what are these guys? What are these sprinting? A Chakru warrior? Haven't seen that. They are quick, though. They are just screaming past the map. Then Marv's gonna come back. Everyone's gonna try and, like, fight over this centerpiece. Which I like. There we go. There's all the thralls. Marv, you better have something up your sleeve, man. Does do kind of a line AoE thing. The sacrificial site to kind of give HP back to these thralls it's interesting if it's useful, but, like, thralls have so little HP as it is. Like, look, 75 HP, and a commando does 10. Okay, that's not so bad. But where's Marv here? That's Chakra warrior. I feel like they just vanish after a while. Where's our Legion player? There we go. So we're just playing musical chairs here for these control towers. The control towers have HP, which is interesting to me. But I think they're not targetable. Can you kill a control tower? I wonder. If you could kill a control tower, that'd be very interesting in the sense of, like, alright, so now neither of us get talents. Like, if you're ahead enough and you don't want anyone to get the mechanical research lab, the little black hole in there looks pretty cool. Do you see Kraku Clockjaws? Crab? No, these crabs are just absolutely surrounded, though, by the thralls. Got a bunch of sandbags coming up here to, it's kind of like an A-move protection, like, Look at that. All these thralls are getting great damage done on the operating tower, but are they going to be able to kill it off? No, yeah, finally, I think Mixu realized that all of his units were just attacking the sandbags. But not before FatalExit can destroy that building and get out of town with most of his thralls intact. Whoa, okay, the what is it called? The Hellfire. I don't know why I wanted to call it a porcupine. But the Hellfire does manage to get a salvo off. Probably killed off a thrall, but he's got thralls to spare. FatalExit up 68 to supply to Mixu's 55. And, like, just look at the Hexite flow. Actually, it's identical. They both have plus 504 coming in per minute, I believe that is. But Mixu's just got a hair more flux coming in. Just needs to do something with that. But he's spending the money as fast as he gets it. It's interesting that that Fatal has so much more supply, has like a higher supply cap, but he's not using it. Like, it's not being... He's never going to get to 123 supply as is. Now, he does have the war experience. What do we call that? Talent? The war experience talent. So as he kills more stuff, the more experience he's going to get more talents. So taking those fights from Mixu has to be... You know, you've got to be smart about how you do it. The Protectorate... My least favorite part about fighting the Protectorate is when they get their shields up. Because those shields... If you don't pop those shields and kill whatever unit was behind them, like, good luck. You know, they feel almost so tanky that there's nothing you can do about them. Commandos are also super nice when you micro them by using their jump jets. But what do we got here? We have a Hellfire that died too fast for me to look at what that debuff was. I think it was just the spear from Galavax that came down. Corsair Flamer comes out. Now, the Flamer does bonus to lightly armored units. 64 damage. And what's the bonus? Plus 50% against light. And it hits twice. It's 8 times 2. That's pretty interesting. Alright. Another Thrall gets taken out for the sake of some regen. That Corsair Flamer with 1,000 health, though, is pretty nice. At 44, okay, recovering 20 HP per second. That's pretty good. And the fact that the sacrificial site affects mechanical units is pretty cool. Alright, so it looks like FatalExit's gonna back off a little bit. Mixu is actually taking the supply lead here. Ever since the, whatever you call this guy, the Hellfire. Ever since the Hellfire came back and is able to, like, drop some pain at a very long range, it's been a different game. But all the Thralls are marching around, and I think they're gonna... Are we gonna have a little bit of a base race situation? Maybe. Chakru, don't do bonus damage to anything. This is not a... What are the unit tags here? This is building. I really wish we knew... Okay, does he do bonus to buildings? No, it doesn't do bonus to anything. But yeah, it looks like the natural for Fatal's gonna get hit here. But Fatal's gonna wrap around and say, hey, if you want to leave through that ramp, good luck. The Commandos, no! They waste their jumps on jumping directly away from the thralls of FatalExit. They could have hopped down that ledge and made an escape a lot easier, but I think they decide not to. Now look at how many shots it takes to take down a Commando. The Commandos have 130 HP, which is just a little more than double for a Thrall, but you get 3 Thralls every time you train one. The living, gigantic, not Battle Aces crabs coming on forward here. And we are just going to have a stand-and fight situation where it's FatalExit saying, fine, if you want to turn around and face overwhelming firepower, be my guest. Oh, they can shoot on the move! They can shoot on the move. Any kind of unit that can shoot on the move is pretty good. Okay, we do see a spear come down to make another sacrificial site, giving us that HP regen, but was this Corsair Flamer getting it? I don't believe so. No, you need to fight on the sacrificial site! Get that... Yeah. Being able to get that HP regen was so key. Galavax, you need to make another sacrificial site so your units can regen! After a certain point, I think the regen's only good for a couple of things. Like, if that Hellfire is focusing down a Thrall, that Thrall is just dead. But for higher HP units like the Corsair Flamer, or for Yeah, for the Corsair Flamer or other vehicles that have high HP that can make use of that regen, I think it would have been better to fight on top of that sacrificial site. But at the end of the fight, FatalExit has 94 supply to Mixu 75. So where is that supply? Is that just here? This is gonna bother me. Like, it bothers me when one of the players is purple. Their team color is purple, but the flux on the map is also purple. It makes it hard to know, like, what is what. Until I get more used to the map and I understand, like, alright, this is a flux patch, that's a flux patch. Then it'll start to make more sense, but I think Mixu's just slowly, like, kind of drip feeding. That Hellfire really needs to be focusing down the heroes. But what are these fancy shields on the Clackjaws here? Why is that a green shield, and why is that a blue shield? Okay, so the shield... Okay, it was empty, but now it's regenerating at... 20 every 3 seconds it regenerates. So it's not... The tick rate isn't exactly smooth, but... Sometimes that can be a good thing. If you just want units to be able to get... If you just want units to be able to get a lot of shield as it regenerates, that's fine, as opposed to it being like a Master Chief shield regen, that kind of thing. Okay, so Mixu's coming on down, keeping up with, trying to keep up in supply with FatalExit, but really being able to pick off these onesie-twosies of thralls is pretty nice. Just doing lots and lots of chip damage here. Chakra Warrior, oh! Alright, the Terror Tank looks like it got, I don't know if it got, like, Mortal Kombat, get over here, but it does get focused down by both of the Hellfires. A couple of sandbags go down. Oh, and unfortunately those Clackjaw Warriors are trying to do damage against the, Oh, they're doing... Is it to the Portal Obelisk they're trying to do damage? Either way, FatalExit went from being in the lead in supply to being down by almost 30. There we go, more than 30 supply. This might be the killing blow here. This might be the beginning of the end for Mixu. He's just got so many mercs. What are these? Are these... No, these are Sentinels. Sentinels doing... Bonus to... How much of a bonus to heavy? Plus 100 versus heavy. Okay, so... And I also need... I need this explained to me. It says 12. This UI unit says 12. So to me, that means it does 12 or 13 or however much damage. Or is that the kill counter? No, this is the kill marker. So this to me says it does 13 damage. But when I hover over it, it's saying it does 34 damage plus 100 versus heavy. Oh, the range is 13. Okay, I gotcha. That's the range. That's not the damage. So not being able to see the damage at a glance, don't like it. Not a fan. I would rather see the damage that it does and maybe the range underneath of it. Or maybe like have a different icon underneath of it to tell me the range. Because knowing exactly how much damage it does at a glance, way more useful. Alright, but it looks like FatalExit's going to be pushing back and does reestablish that, the supply superiority. But as we've seen, Legion units can be kind of squished. Not these, not the Steel Sworn though. Okay, so yeah, so I'm getting a request from chat to check this out. Let me find a unit that's not dead. Here we go. So look, this number is 37, right? So if you look at the range, okay, the range is 28, damage is 21 by 9. So okay, maybe this 37 is DPS. Maybe it is damage per second. Yeah, okay, it is. It is 37. That's 37. Yep, that's 28. You're right. Okay, I stand corrected, Line Breaker 08. That's also very useful knowledge to, that's very helpful. And actually, you know what? I do prefer that. I won't post that. But it is a little confusing at first. And there's this real estate down here. I wonder if that's supposed to be for abilities or for like debuffs later on. Like if something is affected by a debuff, if that's where it goes. But if that's the case, I would prefer debuffs to go under here, under the HP bar, and then different stats down here. So like damage, attack rate, and range, or maybe like, I don't know. I just wish I knew the unit tags. Maybe this is going to be saved for unit tags. I really hope it's saved for unit tags, and then this is saved for debuffs. Kill count, I honestly don't care about kill count for an individual unit. It's cool for, like, fluff, but I want to be able to turn that off. I don't think anyone, like... It's something that I would talk about as a caster when I have nothing else to talk about. It's like, oh, well, they're both just macroing up, and they're going to go to the 40-minute game. Not that games go to 40 minutes or anything, but... Looks like we are going to finally get down to the final battle, and FatalExit's all the way up to 185 supply to Mixu's 70. And every Thrall that dies next to this monolith, the monolith is just going to get stronger and stronger. Hellfire's kind of getting picked off, and it doesn't look like there's much army left for Mixu. Mixu's just getting worn down over and over again. We are going to see some body blocks here. Do these guys have upgrades? Can I see who has upgrades and who doesn't? No. No, I can't. I have not been keeping up with the talents either, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think FatalExit's just finishing off the game right now. There it is. Everyone stopped fighting. GG's. Thank you so much for the PVL. And thank you so much for the replay. See you guys later.